All right. All right, guys. Thanks for being here tonight. This is our second new coach call of this training session. Remember, we do 4 of these. We do them every month, and then we repeat it. So we do the 4, and then we repeat it next month. So last week was our very first call for the month of August, our August session. And if you remember, you guys that were on the call, we talked about our why, we talked about our vision, we talked about belief, we talked about the 4 vital behaviors of being a Beachbody coach. We gave you guys some resources for talking about your why and how, 7 levels to a deeper why. We gave you a call with Carl on the 4 vital behaviors and talked about some PD. So that was last week. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some social media stuff. We're going to talk about some social media do's and don'ts. We're going to talk a little bit about inviting. Maybe we'll get into some responses from people, some follow-ups and objections. And this is pretty cool because Greg and I, we're doing the call from my home here in Florida. Greg's visiting for the weekend, and he just told me that now he is staying for the rest of the year. So he loves it down here so much that he's never going home.
They won't let me adopt any of their cats, so I'm just going to have to stay,
He can adopt, we have a little joke, he can adopt some of our B team cats. We have 7 cats, and we have the A team, which are the really good ones and the nice ones, and then we have the B team, which are the so any of the B team members that Greg and Amanda want, they can take home. Just kidding. We love them all. But there really is an A and B team in this house.
Brian might get them to me, but his wife wouldn't. So, yeah.
All right. So how do you want to do it? Who want to go first, or what's up?
Let's talk about some social media do's and don'ts first. So, I assume everybody here is on Facebook, right? Hopefully you've been on Facebook a while. And by the way, Joe, you made an awesome post today. Joe shared his story on Facebook. He shared it before and after, and he announced that he was a coach, and he even, gave an invite for people to do it with him, which is perfect. I mean, you've graduated, so you can drop off.
You can leave the call.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Right on.
All right. So, social media, I mean, that's where you want to tell your story, right? So, and it doesn't matter if you want to use Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat or whatever, right? It's just pick 1 or 2 platforms that you want to become, good at, and then start posting on those every single day. And ideally you want to post 2 or 3 times a day, right? So you want to, they talk about creating your avatar, like who do you want to attract, right? And you can define that by defining what you're interested in, right? So what defines you? Like your mom, maybe you have small kids, maybe you are religious, maybe you love, pit bulls, whatever, pick, create a list of like 5 things, right? And obviously Beachbody fitness, that's one of the things, right? But then you have like 4 other things to pick from. So like when you post 3 times a day, one of those posts should be about fitness and Beachbody, right? But the other 2 should be about that we call them lifestyle posts, right? So about your kids, about what you're doing, about whatever, right? Because people, your friends have been following you for however many number of years that you've been on Facebook, right? And if now all of a sudden all you post about is health and fitness, you're going to turn them off, right? So they still want to see you for who you are and who you've always been, but now you want to start telling them more about fitness and what Beachbody is for you and sharing your story. So, one of the things that you want to do is you want to start attracting people who are like you, right? And you don't want to turn away people. So one of the first major rules that I recommend is make sure your profile picture is a picture of you. Make sure it's people recognize you, right? People see your face, that it's a big picture, that you're not like in a crowd of people and they don't know who you are. That's like 101, right? That's the number one mistake that I see. Like, we don't want to see, I'm sure your kids are super cute, but, they shouldn't be your profile picture, right? I'm sure your dog or your cat is like Brian. He's got like 7 to pick from, but we don't want to see Brian's cat. We want to see him, right? If I was going to sign up under him, right, if I want him to be my coach, I want to see his face. I don't want to see his cat's face, okay? I want to know who he is. And if I can see his face, I'll trust him. If I can't see his face or whatever, if you're wearing sunglasses, I'm not going to trust you, okay? So that's like the first major rule. The other things are you don't want to post stuff that will push people away, right? So you don't want to post about politics, right? I mean, we all came out of the election last year, and that's all you saw was people posting about politics, right? You may be you may be a very political person, but social media is not the place for that, okay? You can, as we all know, whenever you saw these political posts, it immediately turned you off. Even if they were on your same side, you were probably still turned off by the post, right? So stay away from politics, anything that's divisive, any controversial issues, just stay away from those. If you have those on your page, delete them, hide them, clean it up, right? Anything that you don't want people to see necessarily, like, because you want to open yourself up, right? So if you're private, it's like you're opening a business, right? But it's like you opened a storefront, but you have your shades pulled and your doors locked, right? You don't want to be private. You want to be public, right? So take yourself off of private, open yourself up to public, start posting things will attract people that don't know you, right? And if you have stuff that you don't want people to see, well, you can set the visibility. You can change, like, you can create an album of stuff that only your close family members can see, if you want to. But, there's really nothing, like, I pretty much post everything, pictures of my kid. You'll see Beachbody coaches post pictures of the kids. They'll share everything about their life and what they're doing, and that's what attracts people to you, because you're open and they can relate to you, and you're not just cookie cutter, you're not just Beachbody, they want to be able to see you and trust you, right? So that's very, very important. And if you do make a post about Beachbody or an invitation, you never want to post links. You never want to post stock photos, okay? You never want to post Beachbody photos even, You want to post pictures of you doing your workout, pictures of, your Shakeology, or pictures of, because people are going to see you and they're going to relate to you. And then you're going to tell a story about, how you struggled with your workout and why you are getting up at 5 a.m. to work out. And why are you drinking Shakeology? And why are you eating that healthy meal? So whenever you post, make sure you're not just a reporter. Make sure you're not like, did my T25 workout today, right? Maybe that's what you do in your challenge group. Maybe that's what you do on my the tracker, my challenge tracker. That's fine on there. But when you post on social media, you want to be posting with a purpose, just like Joe did, right? He posted, go to his profile. Hopefully, Joe, you are public, right? So that everybody can see it. And look at his story, right? It's a public story that anybody can relate to. And then he gives a call to action at the end. So he posted with purpose, Also with Facebook, you want to get people to engage with your picture, right? Because there's something called Facebook affinity, okay? That means that if you build affinity with somebody, they will start seeing your posts. Okay, so what happens is when you post something, right now you may post something and you'll think, oh, why did only 5 people like it? Well, what happens is you may have 500 friends, but if people don't engage with it, then Facebook is only going to show it to like 5% of your friends. And if they don't engage with it, it's not going to go any further. Okay. So who are those 5% that Facebook choose to send it to first? Well, it's always going to be your mom, because your mom has built that affinity with you. No matter what you post, your mom has probably liked it and commented on it, right? And you've done the same thing with her. You've done private messages, right? So you liked, you commented, you shared, you've done private messages, you built that affinity with your mom. So that's why you're like, how does my mom see every single post and nobody else sees anything? That's because you built that affinity with her, okay? So that's what you want to do with your friends, right? So let's say you make new friends, right? Some connect with some people from high school or college or work. The first thing that you want to do is you want to go onto their timeline and you want to like their photos. You want to comment on, pick 3 photos to like, pick 3 to 5 photos to comment on. Send them a private message, say, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in 20 years. Don't talk about Beachbody at all. Just, you just want to build up that affinity, right? And then whenever you post, right, you want to do one of those 5 things. Your goal, whenever you post, think about this. Whenever you post, your goal is to get people to like, comment, or share. Okay? That's your goal, right? If that's not your goal for posting, then don't bother posting, okay? Because that's what social media is for, right? It's for engagement, right? So a great way to do that is by asking questions. So has anybody seen a coach or somebody that they post typically a girl, right? They post a red dress and a blue dress and they say, which one should I wear? Which one should I buy? Has anybody seen that? No? Okay. Well, it happens a lot in the Beachbody world. And the reason that it happens is because they want to get 500 people to comment on that picture and tell them which one that they should buy. When in all reality, they've already left the store and they've already bought which one they're going to buy, right? But they want you to comment so that they build that affinity with you, so that when they give their call to their challenge group next week, that you'll see it, okay? So asking questions is a great way to build engagement with social media. Okay, so let's see. Likes, a great way to build likes is, post funny stuff. Brian, he finds cat stuff all the time that he posts, right? Funny cat videos. That's a great way to, get people to like it and they'll start, seeing more of his other posts. Of course, shares and stuff like that. But as you build affinity, right, with people, when you make that post, Facebook will send it out to those 5% of your friends that you build affinity with. And if they don't like that post or comment it, it won't go any further. But if you're asking a question, if it's something that they're going to click like on because the picture is a really good picture, don't take dark pictures, take pride in your pictures, right? If you do a show-stopping picture, people are going to like it, okay? And if those 5% like it or comment on it, then it's going to keep going and it's going to keep going. And especially if you have that red dress, blue dress scenario, 500 people comment on it, I guarantee you it's going to go out to all 5,000 of your potential friends, right? And these coaches have 5,000 friends. So that post will go out to all their friends over the next day or 2. So that's kind of how Facebook works. Those are some of the do's and the don'ts. And now you can understand why you're posting and how to post and what's your objective of posting. It's okay to follow other coaches, right? You can follow me and you can follow Brian, you can follow Melanie Mitro or any of the top coaches, follow their profile pages, their personal pages. I wouldn't recommend liking their like page. That's their business page. Because if you like their business page, then when they run paid ads, they can target your friends and your family. So it's okay to like their personal page or follow them, because you'll learn a lot from these top coaches if you follow their personal profiles, you know. And it's great to follow them on Instagram and YouTube and places like that. You know, whenever you hear a coach on the National Wake Up Call, like today, hopefully you guys listen to the National Wake Up Call. You know, you heard that coach on there talked about gangster, whatever, right? Whatever the topic was. If you connected with her, you know, look her up on Facebook and follow her, and you can start looking at her posts and how she invites and when she invites, or maybe it's a guy of when he invites and how he connects with people and how he invites and how he, you know, how he runs his business. And then you can start doing that too. You know, you can see, oh, well, yeah, I really like this post that she made. Well, you don't want to copy it word for word, but, you know, you can take the verbiage and you can, you know, use your own picture and you can change the verbiage to be more you, right? Because if you don't say, hey, girl, don't say, hey, girl, say, you know, pretend you're talking to your best friend, right? And change the verbiage, but you can, you know, get ideas off of people, and it's perfectly fine to use ideas. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And, you know, be yourself and pretend, like I said, pretend you're talking to your best friend. You know, especially like when coaches do invitations, you don't want it to sound scripted or salesy or business-like, right? You know, read it over to yourself. And if it sounds like a sales pitch, don't post it. You know, like what I do is like I'll run a free group, a low carb group or whatever. But, you know, I'll just say, hey guys, you know, I've been doing this low carb diet and it's worked for me and I've lost 10 pounds and I love how it makes me feel. And I was just wondering if any of my friends would be interested in doing a free 7-day challenge group with me, you know, something like that. So you're just, you know, speaking like you would to, you know, like I would speak to Brian about it, you know, like you saw a great movie and you want to tell them about it, right? That's how you should talk about the Beachbody program. So I think that about covers like the basics for social media.
Yeah, and what we're doing here tonight with this topic is we're dissecting that second vital behavior that we talked about last week, which is that sharing, connecting, or sharing, attracting, connecting, and then inviting. So there's 4 steps to that second vital behavior, and this is the sharing part that we're talking about. And Greg went over some great do's and don'ts about sharing on social media. And we're talking about Facebook because most of us are on Facebook, but this platform does not matter. You know, when you're sharing, you're sharing, like Greg said, everything, you know, about your life. And trust me, guys, when I first started this business and I got onto Facebook, the proposition of, and by the way, I had, 15 friends, my mom, you know, who liked everything. You know, I had no friends on Facebook. And next week, we're going to talk about how to get more friends on Facebook and increasing your warm market. But the last thing I wanted to do was I'm a private person. I'm an introvert. The last thing I wanted to do was really share, you know, all the stuff that was going on, you know, in my life. So that was something that was very difficult for me to do, let alone share my story publicly with people. You know, a story where back then that I was completely ashamed of, you know, and I didn't want anyone to know about it. But slowly, you know, I started following these do's and don'ts. I started sharing pieces of my story. And I started doing those posts where I was sharing my story, but I was also adding value to each of my posts. So I wasn't just reporting, you know, like with my workout posts, when I would post my workout, I would, you know, really get into detail with, you know, how I felt that day and you know, and why I'm doing this, why I'm pushing so hard, why I got up at 4 a.m. You know, so by doing that, and at the same time increasing my friends list, I started to attract people, like Greg said, attracting more people to me, people who were like me, because you're going to attract people if you're real, and genuine, and raw. No one's going to accept you negatively, first of all, but second of all, you're gonna attract an audience, people who are just like you, and then that connecting part happens where you are having conversations and connecting with them, and then that final piece of that fourth vital behavior is that inviting process, and that's what we do as coaches. Is we invite people to Beachbody, we invite people to these products, and we invite people to our challenge groups. You will see, if you follow me on Facebook, you will always see at least once a week, I'm making some sort of post, an invite post. I'm actually going to make one tomorrow morning, and it's going to be, we do a lot of fun stuff in our groups. I know there's a couple people here on the call that's in my premier group. We just finished our meal prepping challenge, and you guys on the call, you guys can do this too. It doesn't, not just me. We just finished. We finished our meal prepping group, and you guys were posting, pictures and recipes of your food and all that stuff. I save all those pictures, make a collage, and tomorrow morning on Facebook, I'm going to tell everybody how much fun we are having in our group and how much we're learning together and how much we're growing together and all these amazing recipes that we got shared and all this food, healthy food that we're holding each other accountable for. And I'm going to post that collage picture. And then I'm going to ask people, hey, if you're interested in joining us, and learning about nutrition, that's one thing we talk about, come and join us. My group is going on right now. And what I do is I have a link where I send people to fill out a form, so I can get their information, and then have a conversation with them. But that'll be one of my posts tomorrow, so, that's the inviting process, and you can do the inviting process so many different ways. That's one thing that you do. You can do personal message invites. So when you're posting on Facebook, and you mention that you're in a group and doing all that, and then if you have people that are liking on your post or people that are commenting on your post, you can shoot them a private message and say, hey, I love that comment you made on my post. And I just wanted to know, I was just interested, if you wanted to join me on this journey, whatever that your post was about, maybe it was about the 21-day fix and you had a successful day using the containers, and somebody may have made a comment that said, wow, those containers look cool. How do you use them? And then what I would do is I would make a reply back publicly so everyone would see it. And I would say, oh, let me private message you and I'll tell you all about it. And then you can private message them and say, yeah, thank you for your comment on my post about the containers. I've been using them for such and such. And actually, I have a group where we all share recipes and we track each other's containers and we're accountable. And then that opens you up to the inviting process, invite to the group. Now, if you guys aren't running, you're new coaches, right? So you're not running your own group. I know a few of you on the call are running your own group, but many of you guys are in my group. Many of you guys are in Greg's group. You invite to that group. All of my coaches in my groups can invite whoever they want to come into the group. The more, the merrier. So don't think that you need to have your own group to do inviting. You can do inviting, to all the groups that you belong with. Do you want to go over this? Or?
Yeah, let's. Can you share that document?
Which one?
That one, yeah.
Okay.
And then we can post it in the chat.
I have a question real quick about what you said. What is the difference then between doing like a like page versus doing all the posting on kind of your personal page?
Okay. I'm going to answer that right now. Just post it in the chat, the 5-step invitation process to promoting and running a challenge group. So you guys can copy that, take a look at that document.
We'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it in a second. But yeah, so first understanding the difference between a like page and your personal page. Your like page is a business page. It is set up a little bit differently than your personal page. There's different things that you can do with it, such as running ads and boosting posts and doing things. For me, my personal page, I treat that as my personal page. So I post and I share and I do all that stuff. On my like page, I treat that a little bit differently. I'm more business orientated on that like page. So I will post more, I don't know, in your face things like, about the groups that I run, about the coach that I am, about the things that I do, and give them, links to my form to fill out if they want to join, come join me. But a like page, you don't have to have a like page, and I would suggest for new coaches, to not even worry about a like page. Let's build up your personal page. Let's create something special there. And then in the future, creating a business page. Do you have anything to add with that?
Yeah, I mean, I've done like tests and experiments. I have a personal page and a business page, right? And, it's like I have just as many of my friends have liked my business page, right? Like my mom has liked my business page, but, I'll make the same post in both places and I'll get tons of engagement on my personal profile and I'll get very little on my business page. And that's because Facebook wants you to pay money, right? They want, they're not going to share, your stuff as much, if you're not spending money, right? So, but on the other hand, if you are willing to spend money on your business, Facebook page is where you should do it because they give you all the tools, like you can target specific counties, cities, states, you can target people who work at, Starbucks or people who shop at Macy's. Like Facebook knows everything about you, right? It knows what you look at. It knows where you went to school. It knows where you work. It knows where you live. And so if you were running a specific ad, for example, you could make it very specific. That's how you see ads that pop up on Facebook and you're like, how did Facebook know that I was, that I like that, and so it's very powerful. And I do that. I run ads for my clean eating groups, or I run ads for my coaching opportunities and stuff like that. So, I'll say if you want, you can definitely get to that later. But like Brian said, as new coaches, just start with your personal profile. You get 5,000 friends on your personal page. If you fill up all 5,000, then, maybe you want to think about moving to your like page, but
Not that.
No, you don't
have to fill out that many.
But it's a good place to learn it on your personal page and a good place to start. And then you can expand to a like page later. All right. Can we share this document?
Yeah, I did already.
Oh, can people see that document?
Oh, you want me to share my screen? Sorry.
Yeah, share that. Awesome. Okay.
You guys see that? Liam, you can see that? I see right here. Okay. Oh, that's right.
Okay. So what this is it's a document that I got from another coach, and I kind of modified it, and it's like the 5-step invitation process, and it's scripts that you can use and modify and make them your own. But it tells you like how to invite people and how to message people and why you should run a challenge group, and and if they respond to you, how do you handle the response, right? Engage them with the question, let's see, specific details, and it's like, what is the cost, right? And it handles that, and then talks about follow-up, and then connect them with something to help. So I'm not going to read it all to you, but, I'm just giving you this as an example. So a lot of times people, especially new coaches they're like, I have no idea how to message somebody, right? Well, this just gives you, a very, a good example of a post, that you can make, or a private message that you can make, and it also goes into details about like how to handle objections, how to talk to them about the All Access Challenge Pack, things like that. Because one of the things that when Brian and I started, and maybe most of you started with Beachbody, is there was like a different challenge pack for every single program, right? There was like you had to find out what they wanted before you could even sell them something, right? It's like you had to find out their goals, and it's still good to find out people's goals, don't get me wrong, but you had to find out the program that was right for them, for their goals.
Because they're spending, $160 and only getting one program, with Shakeology.
Right. And now Beachbody offers everything on demand, right? So you can get the All Access Pass, you get every single program. So you really don't have to find the perfect program for them. So that's why I recommend the All Access Pass to every single person. You don't even have to know, what is best for them, because they're going to get everything, right? And it comes with Shakeology, and it comes with the portion containers and the meal plan and everything. So that's, what I recommend for everyone, and everything in the bundle, plus they get the support from you, right? And, I start there, and that's on sale for $160. And that was in that description as well. How to present step 2 or 3, one of them, maybe there, step 3, I think, talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
All Access Challenge Pack, and I give them a video which shows them, the All Access Challenge Pack. And if somebody comes back and says, well, I can't afford $160, well then, there's ways of handling that objection, and they can always fall back just to the All Access Pass for $99 for a year, or $38 for the quarter. But, anyway, this, you definitely want to start with the challenge pack, right? And like Joe, you made that post today with your story, and have anybody have you ask people to contact you. And has anybody contacted you yet, by the way? Is Joe still on there? Oh, he's yeah.
Actually,
4 people?
4 people.
Awesome. Okay. So, yeah, look at that script, because, you definitely want to present them with the All Access Challenge Pack and tell them, like, hey, this is what I do, right? It's like, it gives you everything that you need, right? You get to pick whatever program you like, and you want to do. And if you don't like it, you can switch to another program, and you get it for a year, right? So you get every new program that comes out automatically, and you get Shakeology, and you have to explain to them what Shakeology does for them, and basically they're getting Shakeology for half price. So, a lot of times people say, well, I'm not convinced on Shakeology. I don't really want the Shakeology. Well, if you didn't get the Shakeology, right, you're saving what, maybe $30, because you're still getting the $99 All Access, plus you're getting the $20 containers, plus you're getting a shaker bottle, plus, you're getting, free shipping or $2 shipping, so when you explain it to people, then they get it, and they're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. That is a great deal, right? And worst case, we'll talk more about handling objections. Is that tonight too?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
So if you do get that money objection, right, you could offer people like a gift back, right? Like, hey, well, what if I gave you a $20 Amazon card, or what if I gave you, a $20 PayPal back? Would that be, better for you? Or what if I threw in a 3-day refresh, or something like that? You can always offer them a gift. You don't want to advertise that per se. You don't want to say, hey, get a challenge pack for me and I'll give you $20 back. You don't want to do that. Beachbody,
well, we're allowed to, there's a certain value that we're allowed to give as a gift.
$50.
Up to $50.
But they don't want you to discount the products.
Right.
They don't want to say, they don't want you to say, instead of $160, it's only $110 for me. Don't do that. But you can offer a gift back to them. Just be careful, how you do it. So that is a great strategy. Presenting the value of it to them is a great strategy for handling that money objection, right? And then worst case, like I said, just fall back to, okay, you don't want the Shakeology, it's $99 a year, right? And if they still say that's too much for the all access, say, well, it's $38 a quarter. You can even get a 14-day free trial. The important thing is that you get somebody started. Even if you have to start them on a 14-day free trial, that's better than them not starting at all, right? Because they're gonna see the value of it. They're gonna start their health and fitness journey, right? Which is the important thing, right? They're gonna start down that path of eating better and losing weight and starting to exercise. And you never know, like after the 14 days, what you would do is you would follow up with them and say, how did you like it? How did you, do you want to continue it? Most likely they're going to say yes. And then you can offer them the challenge pack again, or, get them to basically cancel their trial, right? So that they're not charged, and sign up with the challenge pack after, before the 14 days are up. So that's how I would suggest handling it. But, definitely get people started, whatever it takes, and my philosophy is get them on the challenge pack, whatever it takes, because even if you don't make, like you'll make, on the all access challenge pack, which is $160 right now, you'll make a $50 commission on that, right? So even if you gave them $25 back, right, you're still making $25. Even if you gave the whole $50, right, or gave them a gift worth $50, you're still getting them started on Shakeology and fitness and everything that they need to be successful. And if they decide they love it and they're going to stay on Shakeology every month, you're going to get a $30 commission every single month from then on out. So it's kind of like a loss leader, right? It's like you're giving it away for free, that hopefully that they'll see results and love it and want to stay on it. So.
Yeah. I just lost my train of thought. I was saying that there. But the biggest thing, as coaches, what we're doing, like Greg said, is we want to get people started on this. Our number one goal as a coach is to reach out and to help people, to help as many people as we can. And it's an amazing, this business opportunity is so amazing because it allows us to do that, to fulfill that need, because I know I have a need myself that I need to be out there interacting with people, helping people, because in that way, it continues my journey, the journey that I'm on. I ensure that it continues by giving as much as I can to everybody else. But that's our first step as a coach. So no matter what it takes, I want to get them in here and get them using these products and get them, get them into our groups, because that's where the real magic happens, is when somebody, so whether or not they're, even if they haven't bought anything, and they're just getting the free trial, get them into the group and let them experience how amazing it is. And then some people I have, they don't buy anything, and that's okay. And then other people that I have, I get some of these objections. But the whole thing is, if you're upfront with talking about how you feel about this business, what it has done for you, or how you feel about Beachbody and the products and what it has done for you, and you're talking about the value of everything that they're getting, If you're doing all of that and you're showing that value to them, you are going to be very successful in this business. You are going to reap all of those financial rewards in this business. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that people come first, okay? And your servant spirit that you have, giving that away to people, is going to get returned back to you. So just keep that in mind. Now, you're going to get all different types of objections from people. So you might be talking to somebody for a week or 2 weeks, and then finally you say, well, listen, we've talked. You've told me your goals. You told me what you want to accomplish. Now, here is the perfect program for you. And here is the perfect shake that is going to help you get to those results. Here is everything that you need. And then they come back with that objection. One of them is price, and we kind of talked about that. We went over that. How do you handle a price objection? Well, if you've explained the value ahead of time, most of the times you don't have to get that objection with price, because it's pretty unbelievable for $160 everything that you get. But other people, some other objections that they might come back with you are that that maybe that they already have an exercise routine, or that especially with Shakeology, or that they're already using something else. Okay, so as coaches, what we never want to do, and this goes back to what we talked about at the beginning of the call, what we never want to do is we never want to be negative about any other product that's out there. Okay, you know how many times I have gotten messages from people who are on Weight Watchers, right? I don't need Shakeology because I'm doing Weight Watchers. So you never want to be like, oh, Weight Watchers doesn't work. Shakeology is the only thing that's going to work for you. You never want to do something like that. So what I always do, I always say to people, I use this technique, and if you guys want, you can write this down. That is the feel, felt, found technique. So whenever I get an objection that they're using something else, or they don't want Shakeology, I always say, I understand how you feel, because I felt that way too about Shakeology, that it was really expensive. But here's what I found out once I started using it. Okay, so you're empathizing, right? Mm-hmm. Empathizing with them, that how they feel. And that was like that for me. Greg tried to get me on Shakeology, and I said, what are you, crazy? It's $130. I got my protein shake over here. I get it at Target for $15. It's huge jug, I don't need that Shakeology. But I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was, or had any clue, what goes into it and how it's made, and what it's going to do for me. So I was there. And I tell people that. I say, I understand how you feel, because I was there. I was not going to pay this much money, but what I did was, I researched it myself, and I found out exactly what went in it. I found out, how it was made, that these ingredients come from all over the world, and Beachbody actually has different villages throughout the world where they produce these superfoods, and each superfood kind of comes from a different place, in the process that it goes through in order to get into Shakeology, and then what each of these superfoods does. Now, what I do is, and I talk a little bit about them, but there's 70 in there. You don't have to know all 70 superfoods. Pick 3. Look at the ingredients labels. This is it. Now, I know we're getting off the course here, but this is important. If you're going to talk about Shakeology, pick 3 ingredients, any 3, it doesn't matter which 3, and then research them. And then those are the 3 you talk to people about. So if you're talking to people about Yacon root, and you're telling them all of the wonderful things that it can do for them, like with fertility, and with how it burns fat, and it increases your metabolism, and then you talk about spirulina, and what that can do for you. So pick 3, learn 3, and then, you can talk about the value in that, right, in Shakeology with those 3 ingredients, and then say, oh, and by the way, there's 67 other ingredients that are just like this, that do other magical things too. So I know I got off on a tangent there, but the feel, felt, found. I know how you feel because I felt that way too. But here's what I found after using Shakeology for just a couple of weeks. My cravings were gone. I was sleeping better. I had more energy during the day. And if people are saying, well, I'm on Weight Watchers or Advocare or doing this or doing that, and all you have to say is that, well, I don't know anything about that product. All I know is that Shakeology does this, this, and this for me. That's what I know. I'm not sure about that other thing. I have no idea. All I know is this, and I love it. So that's the technique that I use for that.
Yeah, I wanted to share something real quick with you guys, which is very important. Can everybody see that? This is a site. We'll post this link in the chat as well. But basically, this site is like, once you've talked somebody into, the challenge pack or Shakeology or the All Access Pass, then what do, right? So you need to provide them a link so that they can sign up under you, okay? So what you want to do is go to this site and you put in your coach ID. So let's say that's my coach ID, right? And I hit submit, and I will hit submit, but you can see right here how it says your ID at the end of this referring rep ID. That's going to be your coach ID. So when I hit submit, you see how that changes to the coach ID that I put in? So now that's called a query string parameter on that URL. So that gets passed to Beachbody. When you give this link to somebody, that coach ID will get passed, and when they click it and they sign up, they will automatically be assigned to you, okay? And that you'll be their coach, right? They'll be linked to you. And that's great because anytime in the future when they make a purchase, you don't have to provide them a link. They can just go to Team Beachbody. And from then on out, they're linked to you, and you will automatically get the commission for it. But it's very important for that very first purchase for them to use your link so that they get assigned to you. Now, one caveat there is if somebody already has a Team Beachbody account and you give them a link, they're still attached to their existing coach. So they'll need to switch over to you. And there's an online form that you can give them that they can switch over to you. But, let's just assume that they're not, they don't have an existing account, right? They don't have an existing coach or anything like that. And you can see it always lists at the top the challenge packs that are on sale, right? Because it could change. It's possible that they put other things on sale, but typically the All Access Challenge Pack is right here, and you can see it with Shakeology, with Performance, with the Kickstart, which is the 3-day refresh, right? And then they've got the branded ones, but really I don't think the Shift Shop is All Access isn't any different than the annual All Access, but so I wouldn't worry about those. Then you can see all the other challenge packs, right? You can see the only reason that I would ever recommend another challenge pack is if somebody doesn't have internet access. And that happens, right? They live up in the mountains or whatever, they don't have reliable internet access. Well, then you have to figure out which program is best for them, and then you could give them like the 21-day fix challenge pack or whatever. And even if you scroll down here to the bottom, near the bottom, you'll see just fitness programs. If they want to buy just a fitness program, if you keep going, you'll see nutrition supplements. So just a 3-day refresh, just Shakeology, the Performance Stack, which is the Energize and the Recovery. You can give that to somebody. If we go all the way down to the bottom, you will see, let's see, where is it? Become a coach. See this one right here? If someone wants to sign up as a coach with you, you give them that link. And let's say that they want to sign up with just Beachbody On Demand and not Shakeology, you would give them this link, okay? Or, somebody could just they could sign up for a free Team Beachbody account with nothing, and you would be their coach. You just give them that link, okay? So does that make sense, everyone? Does anybody have any questions about this site? I mean, I would say, if you don't take anything else away, remember this site, bookmark this site. I use it every single day, and whenever you get that first person that wants to sign up with you as a coach or a customer, you're gonna need this site. So good. Okay. All right. Are we about out of time? Does anybody have any questions about anything else that you want to ask? You want to go over the business activity tracker?
Yeah, I'll go over this real quick. I'm going to post this in the chat, okay? So there's a couple things, if you guys aren't too familiar with Zoom, you should have a chat icon on your screen somewhere. And if you click that, there's all of the links that we're talking about. We posted them in the chat. The last one I just posted is the business activity tracker. So this is with this business, there's a lot of moving parts to it, a lot of pieces. So and remember, you guys are on this call to learn about the business and how it works and all that stuff. Not to go out tomorrow now and sell to every person you come into contact with. But you can if you want to. But but this is why we do these calls, to kind of teach you all the different aspects of it. Okay, so the business activity tracker actually takes everything that the successful coach does. Beachbody went around. It's all the successful coaches. What are you guys doing? How did you build your business? What activities do you do each and every day in order to have the success that you're having? So they got all that information and they made this form. They call it the business activity tracker. And basically, I'll share a screen real quick so I can show you guys it a little bit.
This is the Excel version.
Oh, we got to update this. There's a new one. Okay, but you can still come here and download this. And basically what it is, well, I'm going to stop share because no one could see that, is taking those vital behaviors that we do every day. So as coaches, what do? We friend people, right? We find new friends on Facebook. So you can go out, how many? 3 a day. If you do 3 a day, you check it off your business activity tracker. What do? We connect with people every day. We connect with 3 people each day, sending them a private message saying, how you doing? Check that off. Things like, proof of the product, which is the first vital behavior as a coach, is on the business activity tracker. Doing your workout, drinking your Shakeology, doing your meal plan, personal development, which is another vital behavior, is on the business activity tracker. So it's just a form that you can use to kind of consolidate everything so you know exactly the different things that you need to do each and every day. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys another, I can't do it because I don't have a link to it. Some of you guys that are in my new coach chat group, I'm going to post these links in there. And Greg has one too, so he can give it to you too. And Kathy with the K, I'm going to add you to that group as soon as the chat group as soon as this call is over, so you have access to all the resources too. But that's what the business activity tracker, and believe me guys, it works. It works. We're using it right now. We have a group going on. It's called our Road to Emerald group. And everybody in that group is working hard to build their businesses. They're all business builders in that group. So that's, they're not hobby coaches or discount coaches. They want to build this business. So they're all using it. And the ones, and Greg and I do calls with the different teams that are in that group. And I have noticed it's been, 2 weeks now, Greg? And all of the teams that are using the business activity tracker are the ones who are having most success, who are doing challenge pack sales, who are signing up coaches. The people that are using it are having, and then I have calls where everyone on the call, I ask to see their business activity tracker and they don't have it or they didn't check anything off, even though they're telling me they did all these things, and they're not having any success. So it works. You know, so this thing works if you follow it and you do everything that's on it.
Yeah. Which one were you talking about? The win the week one?
Well, that one's a good one too.
Or the one in the back office?
The one in the back office. I like Beachbody's new one in the back office.
Okay.
It's really the way that it's laid out. It goes from, you know, Thursday.
Why don't you call up the back office and just show people how to get to the training, you know, because I think that would be useful.
Okay, I can do that.
Because it's all there. Okay, I don't think they can see.
No, I want to bring it up first.
Yeah. Yeah, just leave it right there and show them how to get to it.
I got you. I got you, Mr.
There you go.
Mr. Greg. Okay. All right, you see it? Yeah. All I have to do is look over there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So when you log into your back office, what you're going to do is up here you have all these tabs, okay? And there's a tab called News and Trainings, all right? So you're going to go to that tab. It's going to be a drop down, and you're going to click on Training. And when you click on Training, okay, you're going to see a couple different things here. You're going to see Getting Started, Coach, Emerald, Diamond. If you're a brand new coach, you want to do the Getting Started training, okay? Once you complete that, let me click on it. You can click on here, Learn More, okay? And it tells you, do this as a new coach. Watch this video. Complete the Business Quick Start, which is different from the activity tracker. The Business Quick Start just has, you know, you write your coach ID on there, you write who your sponsor coach is, things like that, just so you have it handy. And then know this, learn how. But if you go to the coach training, okay, you can see it's a little more involved. And it tells you to do this, okay? And if you look down here, okay, if you click on Know This, Learn How. Okay, click on Learn How. There's many different resources here. And then you will see here,
Business Activity Tracker.
Business Activity, how to earn. Okay, learn about available earning opportunities, blah, blah, blah. Write down your goals. So here's the Business Activity Tracker, the PDF version. So if you click on that, it's going to open up, and here's that PDF. And you can see it's got the 4 vital behaviors. This is Building Me is like the first vital behavior proof of the product. Doing your workout every day, Shakeology, and doing your personal development. And then building your business. You know, on Thursday, did you add 3 new people to your social media platform? Did you make 3 posts to your social media platform? Start 3 new conversations. Did you do 3 invites? Follow up with people. Recognize, talk about the coaching opportunity. So it's giving you those activities that successful coaches do every single day.
And why does the week start with Thursday, Brian?
The week starts with Thursday because that is the pay period of Beachbody. Beachbody goes from Thursday to Wednesday. And on Wednesday night, midnight, the week closes, and then Beachbody does all its calculations and algorithms, and then Thursday morning we wake up and we all get paid for all of the work that we did the previous week. So any challenge pack sales that you did, any volume you've accumulated, we haven't talked about that. But it's basically the Beachbody week. Just like you have a work week that goes from Monday to Friday, or maybe Sunday or Saturday to Sunday, whatever. The week goes from Thursday to Wednesday. So that's why I like how this is set up. So you can have everything in here that you're doing for the Beachbody week, and then it starts again on Wednesday.
Cool. Any questions, guys? All right.
Remember, news and training.
So what we'd like you guys to do this week is go through the Getting Started, go through the coach training, and start filling out the business activity tracker. All right? So next week, we will ask you how you did on your week. All right?
Got it.
All right.
All right, guys. Went a little long, but thank you for sticking with us. Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Go.
Oh, I leave. You have to